And just like that, Scrappy is level 5 Master Hoarder after the expedition. And we've got all of the workbenches fully maxed out today in a single day. I'm going to break it all down today in this video. After our greatest expedition, all of our workshops have wiped, which means we now need to go and get all of the materials to get them back up to max level, including, yes, the infamous rusted gear, and all sorts of other things. So today I got Scrappy and all of the workshops to max level in a single day. I want to show you the route that I took to do it. I basically focus on certain areas and strategies that allowed me to get most of the items in the same run. So overall, I was able to accomplish a lot more instead of sticking to specific routes for each individual item. It all started with a Blue Gate residential run. I started by looting the village and looted absolutely everything I found. I'd go through every single container, which was good to get more XP, and there really wasn't anything at this point that wasn't useful for me. So as soon as I filled up my backpack, I would go to the lemon tree just on the west side of Blue Gate, pick up a couple lemons, and then extract whilst destroying any arc on the way, because we need all of the wasp drivers, hornet drivers, fireball burners, and all that stuff as we went. I repeated this run for a while, with my main goal focused on getting the residential items that Scrappy needed. Whilst I was building up some good materials and getting some XP, the main goal was the comfortable pillow, the dog collar, and the lemons. After doing a few runs of this, I moved my strategy to the olive grove area, where I would loot other residential containers here, collect olives, and also loot the fruit baskets that were here because it was in the Cold Snap event, so we could get those. This was also a great opportunity to find uncovered caches, which can, of course, drop those very important blueprints like the Venator, Anvil, and Il Toro. After doing this, I realized, thanks to my chat on my live stream, that there was a better way to get fruit. If you went to Stella Montis, you could go to the cafeteria area in the atrium part of the map, open up the locked room with a fuel cell, and there's always 2 fruit baskets in there. And there's also a bunch of residential containers, so we can start stacking up on the other important things like the dog collar again, the cat bed, and the toaster. That was the overall plan anyway. After going to the cafeteria, I would end my run by visiting the seed vault, looting all of these seed vault containers, and getting as much seeds, chemicals, and plastic as possible. This will be a really important part for the strategy later on because we're going to need a lot of impact grenades. We don't have Wolfpack blueprints anymore, but we're going to need to farm the big arc to max out our workbenches. And this is probably the best strategy. And also, you get a ton of XP doing this. There was another reason to stop by the seed vault as well. Not only are we getting XP, we're getting the plastic and chemical parts for later on for the workshops. We're also killing ticks. So we're going to get the tick pods. And there's usually a bunch of fireballs and pops outside. So Stella ended up being a really stellar part of this overall plan because we could triple up on the resources we need. I also had another screen on my desk where I look at my worksheet document that I made and released in my other video. That way I could see exactly every item that I needed and the quantity of them as well. And I remembered what I was looking for. So if I did find something, I wouldn't miss over it. You know, things like antiseptic, rusted tools, posters, that kind of stuff. I did about 5 runs of this in total, and we got most of what we needed, except we still needed more apricots and prickly pears. And lo and behold, Lush Blooms was back all of a sudden. Yes, since the expedition, they brought Lush Blooms back. So that is the fastest way possible to not only level up Scrappy, but also get a bunch of money. So I did a few Lush Blooms runs on Spaceport, and we got most of the stuff until we realized that prickly pears were really, really rare. But don't worry, we had a backup plan for that. Also, Lush Blooms is crazy right now. Everyone's trying to scrap over Scrappy parts, so basically, this is a bloodbath. People are PvPing when they usually wouldn't in this kind of activity, and it's really dangerous because everyone's scrambling to find apricots and lemons. Yep, a war's about to start over fruit. So, if you are a bit averse to PvP, then probably stay clear of Lush Blooms and focus on the strats that I've showed you. You've got Cold Snap, you've got the Stella Montis cafeteria. But either way, it worked well enough for me, and then all I needed was the prickly pears. But before I went for the prickly pears, I did some looting on Lush Blooms. Turns out because everybody else is going for fruit to level up their Scrappy again, most of the normal places that are just looted by the time you get there are free to loot. At least they were for me. So I had free roam across most of Spaceport, whilst most people were fighting over lemons and mushrooms. And yes, that did mean I could get the dog collar. The arrivals and departures building were really good opportunities to find the dog collar, as well as toasters and power cables. And then I could go to this spot outside Patton House and grab the prickly pears that I was missing. And you can do the same. There's also another spot just outside the elevator where the buses are. Spoiler alert, these buses are going to be really important for later. But that was it. We got all of the fruit, and I'd already collected the cat bed and the comfortable pillows and the dog collar just by looting Spaceport whilst I was, having the whole server for myself for free, basically, because of Lush Bloom. So in about an hour and a bit, we had Scrappy fully maxed out already. And up next, Lush Blooms was over on Buried City, which meant we had free roam. Almost, we did come into a bit of trouble on Hospital to go and get most of the stuff we needed for the medical bench. We could get the rusted shut medical kits, the cracked bioscanners, the durable cloth, and the antiseptic. And whilst I was on Buried City, I would keep my eyes peeled for the surveyors so we could try and get surveyor vaults, because we'd need a lot of those as well. And because I knew some of the harder parts to get, like the rusted tools, the rusted gear, the motors, were pretty tricky. As I ran from my spawn to the hospital, I'd always check cars and rusty raider boxes, the cubes that you can breach, because those can sometimes have those things. And if we couldn't find them on this run, we had another plan for that later on with some pretty high chance drops. I repeated this for a few runs, with my priority on getting the medical bench items, the surveyor vault if I could, and any potential rusted gears or rusted tools or motors. I didn't get everything I need, but I was making some serious progress whilst also finding some blueprints. And then this happened. Hello, are you friendly? Nope. Do I have any nades? Yeah, it's getting a little crazy now, isn't it? Do you have an osprey? Oh, please tell me he has an osprey. He did have an osprey. And this was going to be really important for later on when we need to kill the rocketeer. More on that later. But this was an important part. If you can find an osprey, it's going to help a lot, and I'll show you later the strat for that. But just a quick disclaimer here, a lot of people are PvPing on site after the expedition. They're getting a bit lazy finding the loot for themselves, and they're trying to take things into their own hands. So be prepared, bring a Stitcher with an extended light mag 2 from the gun shop, and you've got enough to protect yourself, honestly. At this point, we are coming closer to the 3-hour mark of gameplay, and I'd done my Buried City runs, and we were able to start progressing and upgrading some of our workbenches. I would always go back to the menu and check if there were things that I was missing. You can use the track resources thing, and it will put a little eye emoji icon on anything that you're looking for. And you can also get a mental note of what you might be missing. For example, I checked back and saw that I need a couple more snitch scanners and stuff like that. So I decided to go in with the Osprey next. We're going to go in. We bought some seeker grenades from the Rocketeer. Spoiler alert, they're pretty bad against it, to be honest. And then we did the typical Osprey strat. For some reason, sometimes when you shoot the Rocketeer with the Osprey, it doesn't slow down. The normal strat is you shoot its rocket thrusters and it gets stunned as you keep shooting. You're going to need a level 3 or 4 Osprey to do this, and a good mag size if you can find it. That would definitely make it easier, but just be prepared to be somewhere safe just in case the Rocketeer decides to be extra angry, because sometimes it is. Anyway, we got the Rocketeer killed, and we got super lucky with the Rocketeer drivers. Sometimes you need to do this twice to get enough of the workbench, and then we used the rest of the run to clean up any other arc that we needed to get. I needed a couple more snitch scanners, and we needed the Hornet, so we went ahead and did that. That was most of the arc done. We just needed to kill a couple leapers, a bastion, and a bombardier, and we'd be almost at the home stretch for completing the workshops already. So we took to Dam with all of the chemicals and plastic converted into light impact grenades. You only need 25 to kill a bastion and bombardier, and around about that for a leaper. it's really quite efficient when it comes to your resources, especially early game. So we went to Dam. On Hydroponics Cold Snap, you can usually find a leaper around there. This is a really great place to loot for any missing components you might have for industrial style items. So we're talking industrial battery, rusted gears, rusted tools. Don't worry, I've got an even better spot later for that as well, because that's one of the hardest things to do in this. But yeah, you kill the leaper with the grenades here, you loot the leaper, you get the leaper pulse cores, and then you go inside and check all of the breachable boxes and containers for any missing components you might still be lacking. Now, before you extract at the nearest extract point, if you have the time, or you could do it in another run, go check out Primary Facility. Here you're going to find a lot of potential spawns for rusted gears, industrial batteries, and the rusted tools as well. And these can be a bit of a pain to get, but you're going to get them fairly commonly here. And if that doesn't work out, then what you can do is check out the bus spot, which I'll show in a minute. But first, we need Sentinel firing cores. We can deal with the Bastion and Bombardier, but the Sentinel is a bit of a pain. It's the sniper that can appear usually at night raids, but a potentially easier way to do it is go and loot the Arc Couriers, which very often spawn during a storm. If you have the time to go on a storm raid, look for the smoke in the sky. It's either an Arc Courier or an Arc Probe. You want to loot the Arc Couriers. They kind of look like robot crabs, at least they do to me. Once you've opened those up, there's a chance for a Sentinel core and even Surveyor Vaults in here. You do need to rely a bit on luck or spend a few runs doing it. It did take me a little while, this one, I'm not going to lie, but we did get it in the end. And then once we got those, we could finally move on to doing the Bastion and Bombardier and getting the infamous rusted gear. And at that point, we're pretty much done. We got all of these scrappy materials from the start by looting residential areas and fruit baskets. We got a lot of the medical items we needed from the medical area. A few of the other bits and pieces just by looting random containers as we traveled through the map on Buried City and Dam. And yeah, we're almost there at this point. And now it's time for the Bastion. The best strat to me is to go to the pipeline tower area. Bring those 25 impact grenades and an anvil. You can buy the anvil from the gun shop because we don't have the blueprint right. And then you take a zip line to the top of the pipeline tower area. You then find the Bastion down near at the bottom. Kill the wasps and hornets guarding the Bastion first and load up the impact grenades and drop them off the edge. If you get in the right position, you're going to be able to drop the impact grenades on the Bastion without the Bastion even being able to shoot you. And before you know it, the Bastion is destroyed. You might need to do this twice, depending on your luck. You need 6 Bastion cores, so you might need to do it twice. Okay, now it's time to talk about these very special buses. 2 of them in particular at this spawn. Buses can spawn rusted gears, we all know that, but these are really special because I think every time I've been there, there's always been the breachable component at the back and the side lootable components on each side. And usually when you loot them, you get more items per container than the normal bus, which means your chance of getting the rusted gear here is far higher than anywhere else. And not only that, you're going to get rusted tools here, which you can break down into springs once you've got them for your crafting bench, because springs are going to be really important to grab again. But yeah, if you run this bus spot a few times, you should, if you're lucky, get the rusted gears you need. I struggled with this one. I tried every single map, you know, all of the spots. There's some spots on Stella Montes, some on Blue Gate, but this one worked for me. And also, I did find the rusted gear in a really interesting place, actually. Hello. Goodbye. We could have been friends. I wish you didn't shoot me, but now you're dead. You are a bandit. Hello, everybody in the area. Just letting you know that some guy tried to kill me, but he is now dead. And I am a friendly guy. I don't want any harm. I don't want anyone to shoot me. I don't need any violence, all right? The man trying to find some rusted gears. Do you have any rusted gears? Oh, he's got the goop. No way, I had a rusted gear. What? Yeah, you can probably tell by my excitement here. The rusted gear farm is horrible. You do have to get lucky. Honestly, my favorite thing to do was just run in with nothing but a safe pocket slot. And if I spawn near the buses, I would loot those. If not, then I would just quit. You could also do the scrapyard as well if you spawn near there. Those spots are good for rusted gears. good luck. All that was left now was the bombardier. It was the same strategy, but this time on Buried City. If you can get it to spawn near Plaza Rosa, you got a lot of buildings you can hide in to try and deal with the bombardier's missiles. I wanted to end this last little bit on a bit more of a live view of killing the bombardier, because there's something that all of this video missed. I showed you my route on how I got everything as efficiently as possible, but I missed out something. Players will try to kill you. They just will, especially because they're on the expedition and they want to steal all your stuff and save themselves a lot of time and effort. So this game here showcases what you can do to deal with other players, especially if you're a solo player. Definitely try and use your voice comms. It really helps. And try and find other friendlies and stick with them. They could save your life. And never, ever let your guard down. And bring a Stitcher with at least an extender like Mag 2, because then you're going to win most fights with other people who are running free loadouts. That's how you win fights in this game. Anyway, let me break this down for you. I want you to see this live to see how we deal with PvPers whilst we're still doing the workshops, because I cut out a lot of the PvP that we had to deal with just because people kept pushing us. You know, see it here. In that room, is he? Oh, I see him. Sure about that, bro? You sure about that? You want to change your mind? You want to change your mind? We can still be friends. We can still be friends. You just gotta say sorry. You just gotta say sorry. Oh, wait, hold up. Wait, what? Why is that before the AP, bro? But you can get inside from a different way? Wrong gun, wrong gun, wrong gun. Dude, I accidentally pulled out the anvil. What is up with all this PvP? Oh my god. Ow, man. There's probably more people. Okay, okay. Stitch your headshots, man. Let's just chill for a minute. Hello? Yo, there's so many people trying to kill me, dude. I'm just trying to loot. They're dead now. There was a guy that wasn't friendly. This guy over here, and he is now no longer alive. So I guess we could say he's friendly now, not by choice, but you know, yeah, he's friendly now. Did you do the expedition? Yeah, I'm trying to kill the bombardier because I need to do the workshops again.
Oh, yeah, sure, if you want.
I will kill it, and yeah, I mean, just letting you know, you can help loot it. I just need the bombardier cells. Everything else you can take.
Like every cell or like a cell?
The purple one?
Okay. Because I need some too, that's why.
Okay. Yeah, maybe this is a good spot. All right, you ready? I'm just gonna start throwing nades.
Yep.
Oh, I only have one on me, dude. What? They're dead? What the? Wait, why was that so easy? Yo, good job, bro. Good job, bro. Good job. Oh my god, you just saved me. There should be 6, so we'll take 3 each, man. Good job. Yo, I'll leave the things so you can loot them as well for the XP. Yeah, I got one.
Look, man. Just because you're friendly, man, take this, okay? Wait, not this.
No, I got no space. I got no space. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
Huh?
You keep it, man. You keep it. It's okay. I got no room. I appreciate it, though, but it's okay.
Alright.
Otherwise, someone else will take it.
Okay.
Yeah, GG, man. Appreciate it, though. Well done.
Okay. Thank you for being nice, man. I love you.
Yeah, man, it was good. We need more people like this. Well played. What I wanted to show there is that you will meet friendly players, and you will meet players that want to kill you and steal all your stuff, especially after the expedition. You need to find your teammates wisely and never trust anyone fully, but with help from others, you can deal with the other people who are trying to kill you and steal your stuff. As we saw here, it's all a little bit of you've got to do some socializing here and try and read between the lines, try and get people's intentions and team up with those that you feel like you might be able to. Like, he needed to do the same thing as me. So basically, we worked together. I offered him the loot if he helped me kill it. So we both had the same goal in the end. There was less reason for us to kill each other and more reason for us to work together, right? So try and think about that when you're trying to make alliances in a game. And that was it. That was the final piece. We got everything. So hopefully that's a rundown of the best strategy to get everything in this game. And if you want to see a more specific loot zone or like item location guide, then there's a link on screen right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio.